Image generation and editing has really taken a huge step forward in accessibility. These new models by OpenAI and Google are highly interesting and most importantly, really useful. They're by no means perfect, but you can be the judge of that. I'm also mainly going to focus on OpenAI in this video as I found it generated a higher quality output than Gemini. So let's jump into it. First up, we have conversational editing. This is one of the key features, and what it means in practice is that you can edit images simply by describing what you want to change. For example, you take this image of a sunny park with a prompt that says, make it sunset, and you get this. Now, if we were to type in, add a dog chasing a frisbee, here you go. Now, this isn't perfect, and you may want to do a few generations, but this was all from a 3-word prompt. Now, if you enhance your prompt, like I did, then you'll get a much better quality output. For example, this is now the sunset if you used a complex prompt. And if we now add a dog to it, as you can say, it's not perfect, but I think it's a better output overall. So let's quickly compare the 3-word prompt to the 35-word prompt. And as you can see, the sun is much better, more naturally blended in, making a huge difference to the overall scene. While subjective, I like the less warm orange color as well. And overall, I feel this is a much more detailed prompt, yielding a better result, as you can see. The prompt is key, and that's one thing I want to iterate here and throughout this whole video. If you take anything away from this one video, it's that AI will generate better images based on better prompts. So you simply jump onto ChatGPT or Gemini or both or free or any of them, Claude, take your basic prompt, ask it to make it better, more detailed, and say, for example, more realistic. And there you go, you're done. You have a much better prompt and a much better image. Okay, now let's look at object removal. This is great for when you've taken a shot and you need someone, something, or multiple things removed. We're going to go real useful here by removing people from this photo. I've just added the image and wrote remove people in the prompt. That's it, just those 2 words. And here we have it, everyone removed. It's altered the photo to a degree. Colors seem a bit off. It's never an exact replica, but it certainly has removed the people, so it's done its job. I left this in as I really see this technology getting better, and if it's already at this stage as we are now, I can't wait to see how good it is in a few years' time. Hopefully pixel perfect may be possible. Next up, we have home decor. Let's say you want to update your kitchen with a darker color, but you just want to get a rough idea before you spend thousands on it. This model excels at giving you that quick, pretty accurate view. You would take a photo of your kitchen like you see, apply a prompt like you see down below, and let ChatGPT do its magic. Again, the output is not perfect, but it gives you a sense of what your kitchen would look like. You can modify the prompt to say remove the oven or replace it. I found building on these generated images of altered photos is kind of like Chinese whispers, where it gets a little bit further away from the source of the truth, the original photo, but it's a really quick, easy way to kind of visualize what your kitchen would look like. Now, one of the weaknesses of this model is face generation. That's to say, when you upload for yourself and say you want to, which you'll see, add a shirt to it, the output is not your face whatsoever. Now, unless you're a famous person, then it seems to be pretty good. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that it's going to generate you and it's going to be a completely different person. So, for example, I try to generate myself in this image with a pink shirt. As you can see, I tried multiple prompts. I'm not going to go through some of them. This was probably the best one it came up with. I mean, it didn't do a bad job of the shirt itself, but I have no idea who that is. It's not me in that photo. But on the flip side, let's say you just ask it to generate a shirt on a realistic model. Well, here you are. We'll touch on this later, but for product placement on generated people, it's actually pretty good. It's just not very good at generating your face in the output each time. So don't rely on it for that. Lastly, we have styles. So you can apply different styles. This Ghibli style is going around the internet. It seems to be the most popular. And what you can do is you can take your photos and transform them into oil paintings or low poly 3D models like I've done here. I mean, it's pretty good. Again, the face is not mine. So either way, it's fun to play with and it's something you should definitely try. Okay, now let's look at how it goes with consistency with generated characters. So take this kid. He's starting to become an astronaut. Now I asked the model to have him falling asleep while studying. Then I generated him graduating. And finally, he's made it into space. Hooray! I'm really creative with my prompts, as you can probably tell. Now, this is a really useful feature with a lot of uses. Say you want to write your own kids book featuring a cartoon character. It's now quite easy to generate different scenes with that same character as the reference. This was me quickly drafting with a simple prompt. I definitely am going to play with this a little bit more when I get a bit more time. I suspect with the right prompt and a few generations for each, I get a really consistent and high quality series of pictures. So stay tuned for that video. Now let's look at one final feature before we jump into showcasing some really useful use cases. And that's creating accurate text in images. Now this has always been the Achilles heel for image generators, but now generating clear, accurate text in images is really achievable. Now this is the prompt that I ran through some of the top models that are on the market. So we're talking Midjourney, Flux, Ideogram, and even Rev AI. As you can tell, the adherence to text isn't great. It sometimes gets it right, but all of them fail to generate every single word accurately. I ran this prompt through multiple times with similar results. Sometimes it'll do better, but never achieves 100% accurate representation of the text in the image. Now let's look at a more complex example. This one has a lot in the prompt. As you can see, Image Gen 3 by Google and Flash Gemini 2.0 native image generation experiment didn't do too bad, but compared to OpenAI, it's night and day. Again, it's not always perfect, but it's a huge leap forward. This felt impossible at the start of 2025, yet here we are. Okay, let's look at use cases. First up, product mockups. So you have a logo and you want to see what it'll look like on, I don't know, say a water bottle. You just upload the logo and ask it to generate a water bottle with your logo on it. And here's what you would get. It's by no means great, but it's a good generation. It's pretty simple prompt and I think we can do better, so let's do that. Let's assume that we have a water bottle now and we also have a logo that we want to plaster on the side of it. Here we go. It's as simple as that. Upload those two images and with one prompt, this is the output. Okay, now let's take this back and make it a little bit more, I guess, product ready or market ready. Say we have a water bottle and the logo, but we want to make it into an advertisement. Well, let's break this down. First, what we'll do, we'll create a detailed prompt with the help of AI, and we go from this bottle to this bottle now. As you can see, it's pretty impressive. So we're just going to do some final touches here and we're going to add our logo. And here we are, the finished product. It's incredible, I'm not going to lie. It's not perfect by any means, but for someone with my horrible Photoshop skills, this is honestly mind-blowing. I could spend more time tweaking this, which I would do if I was going to actually put this in an advertisement. But as you can see, this literally took me a couple of minutes to do, a couple of prompts. And if this only took me a couple of minutes, if you had half an hour now to spend on this, you could get some really good quality outputs for this. And lastly, you can do your standard mock-up of your t-shirts as well. So we just got a model here, white t-shirt. We've got a rocket. Put them together, simple prompt, and there you go. It's pretty simple, but it's really impactful, and it honestly adheres to the prompt and the actual images uploaded really well. Again, face could do some work, but you know, that'll be coming in, I'm sure, an update to the model. Now, if we get a bit more creative, let's assume I have an Etsy store, I have a glass jug, and I'm going to do etching. What I might do is I could just upload that photo of it and then put in, for example, in glass etching, Rob's Treats, and this is the result. I mean, it's by no means perfect, but getting this result in a previous model just isn't possible. This is just honestly mind-blowing. Again, spend more time with this, you could definitely get much more, I guess, high quality results. Now, honestly, this whole thing in e-commerce store, if I was to be running an e-commerce store, I'd be leveraging this technology as much as possible. And I would honestly be updating every single visual I had. Again, it definitely does look AI generated sometimes, so you just gotta be careful. But honestly, as a whole, this is an amazing piece of tech. And lastly, we have marketing and social media use cases. This one I'm still figuring out, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I'll do a dedicated video on this later on once I've did a bit more experimenting. However, I feel it's gonna be really helpful in quite a few ways, but especially in helping me create thumbnails. This video thumbnail itself is 90% AI generated. I had it generate the sketch and the real image and a few variations. Now, I then imported these two images into Adobe Express, or you could use Canva or any free alternative to actually finish it off. One thing you'll quickly realize is you can't, for example, make pixel perfect text, but in this case, I took the AI generated images, so that sketch and that generated image of the real castle, and just overlaid text within Adobe Express. Combine the two, and this is where it gets really powerful. You'll now be able to streamline your processes, so you're going to enable you to do a lot more than you could do before, as you just have a lot more control over the images that it generates. Take this example of Bio Editor. You could throw things together on your thumbnail, write on the image itself as well what you want it to change, and it's going to do it. I'm going to play around with this in different ways to generate thumbnails, but I don't currently see ChatGPT being the single tool right now. You'll want to leverage it with other tools to get the best results, of course. Again, disclaimer, a lot of things go into a thumbnail. It's not just random images, but if you know how to make thumbnails, this is just going to make your job hopefully a lot easier and be able to do things you wouldn't be able to do before. Now, this is a quick one. Say you're an influencer and you've got an event coming up and you want to create a cool invite. Throw together a prompt on what you want to write, throw some images for inspiration, and here you go. It spits it out. Again, you could generate this 4 or 5 different times, add more images for references, and you'll just get a completely different image each time. But it can save you a lot of time in creating a really unique, really cool looking digital invite that you want to send to your friends and family or just anyone for all the events that you have coming up. And lastly, let's say I have a restaurant and I want to showcase my food, but I don't have a big budget, or I just don't want to spend thousands on getting really good high quality photos of the food that I produce. Well, ChatGPT is here to help. Here's a photo of the pancakes I had, and here's some of the outputs I got. So this first output was a pretty good replica of it, but again, I think it strayed too far away. It kind of kept most of the things there, so your raspberry and your rose petals on top. So I went back to the drawing board, created a new prompt. I wanted it to adhere to these pancakes as well as possible, and this is the shot that you can see now. Honestly, it blew me away when I did this, and this was only my 3rd generation and 3rd prompt. Great, it looks like a real product shot. I don't know about you, but I think it looks very professional. Again, I would play around with it and tweak it a little bit more, but it looks really good and quite usable. And just to add, just to see what else I could do, I then turned this picture into a promo video with Sora. Again, not perfect, but it's pretty damn cool. I don't think I would have this on my site as it is, but to be honest, I'll tweak it a bit and it'd be just a great shot for it. With a little extra time and better quality shots of the food initially with better lighting, you could definitely really spruce up your food photography. Now, a few quick things. You are limited to 3 different ratios, so 3:2, 1:1, and 2:3. It also has a low resolution output, so it's no 4K unfortunately, which isn't great, but does limit its usefulness to a degree. However, when you combine it with other tools, it can get really powerful. So for example, you could generate an image, modify it to a degree, and then using free tools or pay tools, upscale it to 1080p, 4K, and then finish it in Canva, Photoshop, Adobe Express, etc. And that's where the real value is going to be. It's in this workflow from start to finish, where you just incorporate ChatGPT into your workflow, doing things and generating things you couldn't actually do previously. So integrating AI image generation is undeniably powerful and useful right now. It excels at tasks like creating clear text, making quick edits, or generating mockups and exploring styles. It dramatically lowers that barrier of entry for visual creation, allowing you to create really cool visuals, even if you have no idea what to do or how to create visuals like that. It's not magic though, let's put it this way. There are consistency issues with it, especially around faces and finer details. They are remaining at the moment. They might update the model, hopefully they will, or a competitor will come out and fix these issues. The AI doesn't truly understand context either like human just yet. It does lead to occasional weirdness and misinterpretations, as you'll find out if you use it yourself. And there is definitely an ethical kind of conversation that needs to be had around the copyright and deepfakes and style imitations that are more important than ever, that need to be had now. This technology is evolving at such a fast pace, so what seems like a limitation today and is a limitation today might be solved, who knows, tomorrow. It's an exciting, slightly chaotic time to be creating visual images right now. If you have any cool use cases, or I'd just love to hear them, and as always, thanks for watching.